himo tolangin sikoy ko kami himo taal dawoy bulan ikaw ang nabuhat sa kabituhunan ikaw ang nabuhat sa kalibutan manama mawantog ka warag po ko ilingkoy ko o Diyos kahibulungan ka busa ikaw lang ang simbahon ko.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم آمين يا رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم اجمع شمل المسلمين والكريستيان والأمة في مدينة دباو وسلم دائما مجتمعنا هذا بالسلم والأمن والتقدم في بلدنا هذا آمين يا رب العالمين ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين.
In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today to praise and worship you and give you thanks for all the things you continue to provide for ourselves and our families. Father, we humbly ask for forgiveness for all the times we have offended you, when we forget to acknowledge your presence in the image of our brothers and sisters, and for moments we fail to be good stewards of the blessings you have given us. Continue to guide and protect each one of us, Lord, that we may always walk in the light of your everlasting love and mercy. Grant us, Father, with your comfort in times of distress and with your strength in times of weakness. Bestow upon us your unending grace and healing, that we may in turn become instruments of gentleness and compassion to others. We ask all this in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, with the prayer and the intercession of our Blessed Mother. Amen.
Manama mawantog ka warag po ko ilingkoy ko o Diyos kahibulungan ka busa ikaw lang ang simbahon ko.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Rino Dominic Kabunkal, and I'm the Science Research Analyst at the uh, Department of Science and Technology, Region 7. So I would like to start this webinar with a positive energy through your smiles in your faces, and I would like to ask everyone to turn on your video cam for the quick photo op. All right, so let me see those smiles and faces. All right, everyone in the Zoom, participants in the Zoom. Okay, very good. Okay, so let's have a quick photo op in 1, 2, 3. All right, again. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much, participants, for that wonderful smiles and beautiful faces. So just a little housekeeping to our webinar. So for the name, please rename your Zoom display name in the examples presented in your screen. So for proper identification, especially in the Q&A portion. So for the audio and video, all participants are requested to mute their microphones during the lecture, and you may turn on your video and audio when asked during the Q&A or the photo op. For the certification of participation and handout, your certificate of participation shall be provided after filling out the evaluation form. So we will send to you the PDF format of your certificate upon the receipt of your evaluation. And for the question and answer portion, you may type in your questions in the Zoom chat box and they will be answered when the lecture is finished. Okay, so you can get your certificates right after we will send you the link in the Zoom chat box to completely fill out the evaluation form to get the certification of participation. So if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat box and I'll bring them up after the presentation and we will have the time later on. Okay, so let's start with our webinar, first webinar for the NSTW, for the National Science Technology Week here in Central Visayas. So our title for today is Recent Advances of the Food Product Development. So technological advancement and developments over the past decades have affected the standards of living significantly and have also influenced the food industry. Food prepared today is different from that produced decades ago. Food production has shifted from small agricultural farming to large-scale production process that transform the food is stored, distributed, and consumed. The food industry is now making a new, innovative, and value-added products with a focus on packaging, form, ease of possession, functionality, and quality. Now, the Department of Science and Technology Region 7 is now presenting recent advances in food product development presented by our food product development specialist. Now, without further ado, we will now start the program and we will now turn the time over to our food product specialist. Our resource speaker for today is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Food Technology. She was also the food quality controller of WNA Superlogistics Incorporated and the research and development technical assistant in Mixed Plant Incorporated. And she was also the food safety and quality assurance coordinator of Food Point in Emirates Flight Catering in Dubai. She was also the research and development manager of Julian R&N Corporation, and now currently the quality assurance and research and development manager in Hacienda Makalwana Incorporated. Let me welcome you again, our speaker for today, Miss Venice Ido Ganton.
Good afternoon to all of us. Thank you for inviting me and hope all of you are safe and doing well. So, our topic for today's webinar is about recent advances in food product development. Discuss, why is there a need for product development? What is food product development? Overview of food product development and recent advances in food product development. So, why is there a need for product development? In the food industry, product and process development is considered a vital part, indeed, the lifeblood of smart business strategy. So, why? Why is there a need for product development? Gaining new customers, elevating brands. As we know, food market is full of competitions and every company needs to elevate its brand, increasing profit and market shares, new market expansions, and changing food trends and habits. So these are the reasons why there is a need for product development. Undoubtedly, the food industry is undergoing a dynamic process of transformation. This is in order to meet the requirements and solve the great problems, mainly due to 1. Growing global population, 2. Food claimant in both quantity and quality. Consumer demands, improving food safety, shelf life, and reducing wastage, to demands for increasingly sophisticated foods having special characteristics in terms of nutritional value, palatability, and convenience. So basically, today's paying attention to consumer need is the key to the success of the food industry. Another consideration is the regulation of food safety. That's why it's stated here, improving food safety. Because now, food safety and safety is also now a priority. In this time of pandemic, it's really important that consumers know how safe the product they are consuming or they are buying. Is it safe? Is it okay? So all those questions are asked. Product development minimize the chance of product failure and also maximize profits. According to study, only 25% of the new products created are successful. So what is food product development? Food product development, or commonly referred to as product development, is systematic, commercially oriented research to develop and process satisfying a known or suspected consumer need. Product development is a method of industrial research in its own right. It is a combination and application of natural sciences with the social sciences, of food science and processing with marketing and consumer science. The key principle in product development is the mandatory need to ensure the development meets a consumer demand. Overview of food product development. So these are the major stages in new product development. First is the idea generation. This is developing a large pool of ideas, ideas that are unique and of course meet with consumer demands. Idea screening. This is where the non-feasible and non-viable ideas are screened out. Concept development and testing. The selected are turned into concepts and are tested to find the best one. So the next stage is the marketing strategy, and marketing strategy is developed for the new product. Business analysis. The business aspect of the new product is analyzed at this stage. Is it profitable? Is it satisfy the company's goals and objectives? If yes, then we can now proceed to product development stage. In the product development stage, this is where the actual product is developed and tested for feasibility. So this is where research and development take over for actual product development. Here, the product may take days, weeks, or even months to develop. So once it's already developed, you already produce a prototype of the product that you want to launch. Test marketing, that's the next stage. In here, the business strategies are tested in test markets. It is at this stage that a final decision of launching the product is made. And once the final decision is made, the product is now good for commercialization. So as you can see here, this is the steps as I have discussed earlier. Then the types of food product development. So if it's new to the world, it's first to launch in the market as new product. So you are the first, you are the pioneer of that product. Then line extensions. Example, the product is already available and you just want to add another flavor but of the same specifications. Other thing, if like for example, your product packaging is a 1 kilo packaging and as per the cost, it's a bit high cost. So now you wanted to have a smaller quantity. So let's say a 250-gram pack. So that is line extension. Me too's. What do you mean by me too's? Me too. It's like imitating or adapting to a product which is already successful. So this is the trend now. Maybe you can observe in the market. In pandemic, by the time this pandemic started, we can see a lot of products being launched in the market. They're ready to serve, they're ready to heat products, already cooked, it's frozen, some are chilled. So one company launched this particular range of products, then after a few months, the competitor is also launching same product prototype or same specs. So it's like same ready to heat or ready to serve products. So that's what you call imitating or adapting to a product which is already successful. So marketing plans, product planning, price structure, promotional program, and there are also internal factors and external factors for food product development. So there's personal expertise, production facilities, financial position, company image, and for the external factors, economic, political, ecological, technological. So all of this, you can see, this is the overview of food product development. I don't have to discuss this in more details, but if you can, I mean, if you have questions, you can ask me after this webinar. Okay, thank you. Recent advances. Number one, bioinformatics. Traditionally, bioinformatics has been used in pharmaceutical applications, but now bioinformatics offer opportunities for food and beverage companies looking to accelerate ingredient discovery. So because of bioinformatics, we can now predict and assess the desired and undesired effects of microorganisms on food. So companies can use bioinformatics to better understand connections between potential ingredients and their impacts on human health. Ingredient informatics. This is the next step in bioinformatics that focus in finding the right ingredients, knowing where they are and what are their properties, and then linking to the desired outcome. So this is just an example. So this is an ingredient. So here, genes is being discussed, its functions, its structures, organizations, dynamics. Then for the food application, based on the information gathered, you can now formulate according to the genes, according to its functions. So if you have all this information in one source, it's easy to develop a new product. So it can accelerate the new product development or the product development. Alternative protein. Alternative proteins describe foods that are consumed as substitutes to meat and seafood as part of an individual's diet. This includes plant proteins such as soy, pea, and grains such as quinoa. So as you can see, these are some examples of alternative protein products. Beyond Meat, that is the brand. So they are selling plant-based patties. There are also plant-based burgers, and Pizza Hut Beyond introduce as well the plant-based toppings in the pizzas. So another one is the insect-based ingredient. So from burgers and beer to cricket flour, pasta, and pancakes, insect-based food companies use edible bugs as a key ingredient in food products intended for human consumption. So some examples are this insecten burger. So obviously this is Dutch product. Cricket pasta, Beatles beer, cricket pancake mix. The brand is B-Bite. Cricket tortilla chips. There is also an insect balls and a pesto made from buffalo worm. So these are examples of products that has an insect-based ingredient. Food analogs. Food analogs, a manufactured food product designed to imitate a given food and frequently possessing characteristics equal or superior to that food. So example is the textured vegetable protein or TVP. TVP is commonly used in meat industry. This is commonly used as alternative of meat, alternative of ground pork, chunky meat, chunky chicken. So once this TVP is hydrated with hot water and some spices, then if you will taste it, sensory characteristics, it's almost the same taste with the pure meat. So based on experience, TVP really gives similar, not only the appearance, but also the texture as well. Artificial sweeteners, some of these already available in the market. For this vegan mozzarella, I haven't seen this in the market, but eventually, if there is a consumer demand, then most probably some producers will have this available in the market. While traditionally, the main objective of food process engineering was preservation and stabilization, the focus today has shifted to one, enhance health aspects, flavor and taste, nutrition, sustainable production, food security, and also to ensure more diversity for the increasing demand of consumers. Drinks that offer more. So, what are those drinks? Probiotics, prebiotics, and symbiotics. So, one known example is Yakult. So, these products are fermented products. It has good bacteria and can supplement good bacteria in our bodies. Recent advances in packaging. So maybe some of you know already about this Pinyapel, which is developed by the Design Center of the Philippines. So this is made from a specialty paper made from pineapple leaves that would otherwise go to waste. And here they use and optimize the pineapple leaves into coffee cups and paper shopping bags. Novel processing technologies. The need for novel processing technologies in the food industry is a direct result of consumer demand for fresh, high quality, and healthy products that are free from chemical preservatives and yet are safe. So, those people who are very cautious with regards to chemical preservatives as part of an ingredient of a product, this is the result of that demand. So these are techniques that prolongs the shelf life of a product, enhancing or maintaining the quality, and also regulate the freshness of food product. So one example is the high pressure processing. So what is this high pressure processing? HPP is a non-thermal pasteurization technique whereby products are held at pressures typically between 300 and 600 MPa for up to 10 minutes. The advantages of HPP over the conventional thermal processing techniques involve reduced process times, thus reduced heat damage, as well as retention of product flavor, texture, color, and vitamins. Pulse electric field, or PEF. PEF is a food preservation technique whereby the food to be processed is exposed to a pulsed high voltage field or less than 1 second. And studies have shown that PEF processing results in better retention and storage stability of carotenoids, phenolic compounds, and flavonols in comparison to thermal processing. Cold plasma. Plasma is defined as the fourth state of matter that is energetically distinguishable from solids, liquids, and gases. Cold plasma has found applications in the sanitation of the surface of fresh produce, liquid products like juices, as well as equipment surfaces used in food processing and food packaging. Cold plasma is thought to be an effective alternative to thermally based microbial inactivation methods having comparable microbial inactivation properties against major pathogens. And in this process, there is no effect on the product's nutritional or other quality. So here you can see the new trends for novel food processing technologies. So this is divided into two: non-thermal food processing technologies and electro technologies. So the one I mentioned earlier, the HPP, the cold plasma, and the pulsed electric field are just some of the novel food processing technologies that is now trending. So in these slides, you can see a process flow wherein there is a utilization of processing waste. So from cultivation and fruit production up to peeling and juice processing. So the peel and pulp waste is being further processed into an essential oil. So it means that the waste is being utilized into something. So that ends my presentation. So as Steve Jobs said, sometimes when you innovate, you made mistakes. It is best to admit them quickly and get on with improving your other innovations. Thank you and have a good day to all of us.
Okay, so thank you for that wonderful, wonderful and wonderful presentation, Ma'am Venice. So for the participants, do you have any questions or concerns regarding for our topic for today? So please, if you have any questions, please don't be shy in putting your questions in the Zoom chat box regarding to our topic for today, our recent advances in food product development. Okay, so I think we have a question here, Ma'am Venice. Ma'am Venice, okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So our first question here is what are the struggles that should be considered when it comes to food product development?
Okay, that's a very good question. Struggle number one is really the cost, especially if you are imitating a product. It's because you have to compete. So the source of your raw materials as well as the packaging must be competitive. Kasi syempre, we don't want to have a higher price as compared to what is already available in the market. So that's the number one challenge, the costing side of it.
Okay. So thank you for that answer, ma'am. So I think we have a question here from our Zoom participants. So where can we avail the packaging made of pineapple leaves? So I think she asked, our Zoom participant asked about the packaging made of pineapple leaves. Okay.
As far as I know, this packaging is a DOST assisted project. So, to be honest, I'm not really sure in which company that they can avail those like yung nagawa na.
Mm.
But we can inquire about that, and then if you can just leave also the contact details so that I can send back dun sa tinatanong niya.
Okay. Okay, so thank you. I hope we will reach out to you,
Mm-mm.
ma'am, especially to the participants, for the to answer the question. Okay. So I think we have another question here. What are your advices or recommendations, especially to our MSMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises, when it comes to food product development? Especially they are starting pa, ma'am. What is at least advice ni mo, ma'am, for
Mm-mm.
that?
Well, dapat ang raw material, it's available, and also daghan kag resources. And then if it's like parang na siya oversupply, then take that as an advantage. Kay mao na siya makatabang nga mag-lower ang imong cost. So we can see sa mga FB post na ay mga daghang kamatis nga na waste kay wala na, I mean dili na siya mahalin kay it's oversupply. So with that, if we can make a product out of it, so mas maayo.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. So, to our participant, please don't be shy to put your question on the chat box so that our speaker, Miss Venice, will accommodate your questions. Will answer your questions. Okay. So, I think we also have another question, ma'am.
Mhm. Sige lang.
How can we sure that our food product development is on the right track, ma'am?
Aha. Actually, it's basically a long process. Yung product development, it's a teamwork actually. So first, it has to have a support. Then dapat yung feasibility study mo in the market, dapat it's in short naa kay target consumers. And then dapat very attractive sad ang imong product. I mean, eye catching. So
Okay.
I hope that answers the question.
So I think we have
Mhm.
students here from from different schools here in the region.
Okay.
So if you have any questions, especially to our students or college students from the universities, please, if you have any question, please put your question on the chat box. Okay. So I think we have another question here.
Mhm.
So especially in the micro enterprises, ma'am, like
Mm-mm.
for those who are having uh parang they are still starting in a full product development, ma'am. So what are yung should be the bottleneck that be considered, ma'am, or yung parang constraints that should be identified for that, ma'am?
Um, Based on experience, I think mostly sa shelf life ng
Mm,
product. They have the product, pero in terms of yung i-sustain yung product into a longer shelf life, I think that's one also of the challenge pagka you starting up ka pa lang. Mainly because your resources is not available. Kasi kung let's say in a big company, complete kasi sila ng laboratory, they have microanalysis, so they have chemical tests. So it's
mm,
easy for them to check uh, what are the factors I need in order for my product to be to have a longer shelf life, di siya ma-spoiled.
yes.
So that's I think one of the I think challenge also sa MS sa mga starting pa lang. And
Yes.
all these tests as we can see also mahal siya if magpa-test ka outside, I mean in a laboratory, in a third party. So there is really a limitation kasi syempre you're as a small nag-start pa lang. So I guess ang ano na lang is you should conduct several trials. So mag-base siya sa actual. So there's like weekly or daily monitoring sa taste ng product. So though it's still recommended that we have to do microbiological analysis as well. Kasi that's the only way we can understand ano pa unsa pay dapat natong ibutang or unsa pay dapat natong buhaton aside from the of course we know the good manufacturing practices already. So if let's say okay naman ang mga GMP practices but still my product is having only a 3 days shelf life. So you cannot like ang imong market minimal lang siya because you cannot transport it in like big big market. So mao na
Mm,
siya.
okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, especially
Mm,
to our participants na mostly mura gani they are having this kind of type of business na they are still
mm.
starting or at least dili pa kayo the equipment is
Mm,
on lacking stage. So I think we have also a question here, ma'am.
mm.
How much is the laboratory, especially for the micro enterprises? Oh, so especially for the food product development. And if they can't afford the laboratory, what are specific procedures to at least especially daw sa kuan sa atong shelf life, ma'am,
Okay.
or sa mga kuan.
So it varies from product to product. So like for example, if it's we have to go back kasi sa food science, no. So there is a thing we call temperature danger zone. So in that temperature danger zone, may standard na naka-declare dito. So if it's a chilled product, you have to store it according to what is the standard temperature. So theoretically, if masunod nimo to siya, the microorganism will not grow. So yun, so you have to support yung sa process kanang kanang sa mention ko regarding good manufacturing practices. So kinahanglan sad natong ibantayan ang temperature danger zone. So there's two factors actually nga kinahanglan natong hinumduman with regards to temperature danger zone.
So if we have limitation on um, temperature, let's say we don't have that much available resources of chiller or storages or blast chilling, so we can compromise naman the temperature, but we cannot compromise naman the time. So we always say that we just need to expose a product in a danger zone for a maximum of 1 hour. So if it's say it's a chilled product, you have to store it at 4 degrees C, 0 to 4 degrees C. Or if it's a hot product, it has to have a temperature of 60 degree above in an ambient temperature. So if if wala kay di mo makontrol ang temperature, then you need to control the time. So you need dili nimo expose na dugay.
Okay. So I think murag we should also consider the environment, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, so the
Mm.
environment, I think the comes here fatom, food, acidity,
Mm.
time, temperature,
It varies also from the type of product, of course. So if it's
Okay.
acidic, if it's um, dry, so it also varies. But these things still naasa na siya kanang i-control sa nimo ang temperature. So 'di ba pagka dry products, meron din siyang certain humidity para at least ang imong shelf life ma-prolong pa to more than what is expected.
Okay. I think that is a great knowledge na impart ni ma'am to our participants, especially to our businesses and business owners and students. So I think we have a few questions also here, ma'am. So I think from the Zoom participants, curious lang po, what specific bugs are being used in the food production?
Yung mga crickets, but these are yung dili ni siya nung kanang mga cultured ni siya nga mga insects. So in other countries actually, I have seen na even cockroaches, yung mga worms, they are on process of um, developing it as part of an ingredient. Ang claim kasi is these insects, taas sila og protein. So that is where the idea nga pwede siyang i-add on into an ingredient, into as part of the ingredient of a product. So it's more on the protein naa sa insect mo na siya one of the reason nga i-input siya into a product. So murag sa nutritional side of a product.
For me, I have a question then is, if using this kind of methods, or especially for the bugs, does it also compromises the quality of the food or sa
No,
especially
yeah.
for production?
Actually, they process it in such a way na in powder form siya. So kung imong i-imagine murag yaki, 'di ba, kay it's insects like that, but i-process kasi na nila into a powder form. So mura na siya og flour or mura na siya og starch. So if you will not actually read the ingredient, you will not know na may naana di ay mga kuan add-on ingredient out of these insects.
Okay. Yes, at least it is already regulated and considered as safe to consume.
But I think na ay part sa Philippines na mukhaon na og mga insects. Ay, wala pa lang ko nakatry sad.
Oo.
But I think somewhere in south I mean it's na use sila na mukhaon og I'm not sure what insect.
Yeah, so I think it's from somewhere in Luzon, especially on the crickets.
Yeah,
Okay. So I think we have another question, ma'am, from our previous participants. So
Mm-hmm.
are there any food safety risks or health risks from newly produced products using various new ingredients? So if there are, so can you cite some examples and how do you validate these companies?
First of all, yung new ingredient, by practice kasi pagka sa new product development, you have to know first your source of your ingredient. If like, naa ba siya'y COA or ang importante lang is you know where it came from. And with regards to validation, yes, there is a way. So yun nga, one factor is you have to do a microbial analysis. So that's one of the validation para sure na ang imong product is really safe. Kaya dili man na nato makitaan ang mga microorganisms. So yeah.
Okay. So I think that answers the question from our Zoom participants. So
Mm-mm.
please, reminder to our participants, just keep your questions going, and the speakers on our topic for today, recent advances in product development, will answer those questions. Okay, so keep it coming. The questions we will answer. The speaker will answer that. So I think we have also another question here.
Yeah.
Food hygiene has been the weakest point in street foods. So, are
Mm-hmm.
there advances in the food development to further minimize the risk of getting sick when eating street foods? So, I think very popular kung gini atong street food, especially to our
Yeah.
Filipinos,
Mm-mm.
Filipino people.
Mm-mm. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's one of the challenge. Pero, I'm been in dugay-dugay na ako sa food industry. And one of the recent nag-i-add sa ISO system is to educate. Need yun nga i-educate nimo ang mga tao. So in fact, sa ISO, the latest version, naa sila gi-added to nga food safety culture. So i-develop ang kultura sa tao kung unsaon ang good practices. It's very challenging this small kuan naman guning nasa mga karinderya. So nasa maayo if the local government or yung mga regulatories, they can conduct murag kanang campaign bitaw na on a how to, it's like similar campaign na we have during pandemic, di ba? Nag massive campaign regarding hand washing. So hopefully naasay similar but related to food safety. Kay that's, I think that's the only mas cheaper sad siya because you just have to tell. So you just have to educate. Kaya ang problema is if we know years back, statistically wala tay kanang murag kanang news nga na food poison or nag-complain na nagsakit ang tiyan. That's because they are not aware na it's because of this not good hygiene practices mao yung reason. So for some provinces, I remember murag naimiingon nga gihiluan murag nga na bitaw. So actually for me it's not really murag dili na siya tinuod. It's because siguro the way they prepare sa pagkaon, it's not like how it is supposed to be. So with the advances of food safety, daghan na tag learning. So now we know that dapat kini nga pagkaon you have to heat up to this temperature. So yeah, it's more on i-educate ang mga tao. Even in big industries, the QA personnel cannot do it alone. Siyempre kung QA ka, nasa isang company, what if you go somewhere else? You cannot like see one by one sa mga tao, sa mga staff. So you have to educate them. You have to emphasize nga og dili mo maghugas og if you will not wash your hands, unsay mahitabo? Pila ka microorganism ang mag-grow. So unsay mga so all those kind of things. So syempre they kung ma-observe na nila, then they will practice kung unsay dapat. So let's say the good practice is if you have bare hands, then you have to frequently wash your hands. Okay, in a 30 minutes, in an hour, mag-grow gyud ang mga microorganisms na sa imong kamot. So that's just basic, but kung let's say wala kay kanang idea ba, you will not care. But if you have the idea, you will do it. So yeah, I hope it answers the question.
Yes, so I think I can totally agree with that, ma'am. Is especially on the food safety culture when it comes to product development. I will not name the country, but it is already a viral or trending in the Facebook, especially in the products in handling the food product and developing the food product. So I think for the food safety culture, it is also moraganic. Yes, you are really correct when it comes to educating the people, educating and imparting them with knowledge when it comes to food product development.
Then I add on ko lang, ang challenge ana is syempre ang mga tao, it's like moingon sila nga kanang sa una man lagi blah 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 di okay
Yes,
ra man lagi ana, but
yes, common yun na, ma'am.
yeah
That is
so
very common.
yeah, so sometimes you have to think psychologically unsaon nimo sila ma-convince. So as a food safety practitioner, murag I told to myself, I have to understand them where they came from. So sa iba-ibang tao, lahi sa dang atong approaches. So siguro sa mga food tech students, I think mas maayo sa that yung strong background ng atong psychology subject, may I say. Kay it's very difficult na yung mga gahigo, na yung mga pilosopo. So it's really difficult to handle. Pero syempre, that's the standard. You have
Yes.
to make a way to let them know na this is how it is para ma-avoid ang mga food poisoning, mga wastages kay sayang. So it na siya'y cost ba na involved. So constant kanang termi lang siyang i-remind, termi basta you have just to deal, you have to approach nicely, pasabot nimo nga this is maayo gini. I mean, it's the same with the pandemic. They always say you need to wash your hands, you have to wear gloves. So it's also similar pag ikuan nimo ang sa food safety aspect naman.
Especially to our food related professionals, it really starts with you. Yes. Know the standard, educate yourself with the standard, and keep an open mind also, and understand the situation. All right. So I think the questions is coming. So we have other questions. Is food product development is very expensive approach. So there should be a study first for certainty of market, or not just a trial and error, right? So muna ilang their question,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah, it's expensive approach mo nga but it depends actually if the technology is available naman na, so you can read, pwede kang mag-refer sa mga articles, available siya, you can just find it somewhere. So in the you can search it in the internet. So if you think like I want to produce this kind of product, this type of product, so there are lots of publications, there are lots of studies na available na. So I think that can lower the cost. So as I have mentioned, if you develop a product, of course, mas para less ang imong expense, yan, you have to source out talaga kanang cheaper or competitive raw material cost para ang imong expenses ma-lower siya. So trial and error, yes, that's part of it. So you just have to ensure na initial trial nimo, you have all the lists kung unsay mga issues. So kung in short, imo gyud siyang ilista in detailed para dili ka na ka magbalik-balik. So para for some, one trial, second trial, then big batch na. And as per experience, para lang dili sad sana kanang dili expensive ang imong pag-commercialize, you have to kanang imong formula, let's say nag-trial ka in a 1 kilo. So pag imong i-upscale, dili lang sa nato like big quantity scale para if in case naa siya'y problema, ma-lesser ang imong murag kanang damage. So in most cases, like in 1 kilo, then you have to try 5 kilos, then you have to again list all the parameters. So if okay ba ang taste, yung shelf life ba, it's consistent. Because of course, in a 1 kilo recipe and in a 5 kilo recipe, it's dako na siya og difference. So if you for a 1 kilo recipe, you only cook it for like 30 minutes. So siguro in a 5 kilo, it would be like more. So pag successful ka na sa 5 kilo recipe, then you can proceed, you can double it until you come up with yung pinaka big batch production. Because pagka nag big batch production naman gud ka, it lower also your cost. Kasi isang run naman na siya. So yeah,
Yes,
I hope that answers the question also.
Yes, ma'am. Because I think also the point here is since you are also a research and development manager, currently research and development manager, but you're also giving them advice to also start to have a research and development
Yes.
to
Bisan og
yourself.
bisan og kana let's say I mean in all walay gipili. They can do it bisag kinsa if you are let's say not that much knowledgeable, pero you can observe. So imo naman na siyang start up, so you can just observe.
Yes, so I hope participants are taking down notes because it's a very important knowledge and learning na kailangan nato sana ato ikuan sa tong self ba it's to our production, food manufacturing, food product development. Okay, so there is another question here, ma'am. So has there been laws, programs in supporting or encouraging product development in the country?
Actually, sorry to say for like sa sa Pilipinas nga laws and regulations, because I'm not like I stayed in the Philippines since 2018 pa lang. So in terms of regulation, I'm not really that expert. So but in other countries wala namang more laws and regulations except for yung paggamit ng mga preservatives. So naana siya yung mga limits. So I think sa Pilipinas pero dili pa ni siya nahimong law kanang reduction of usage of salt. Murag it's underway na siya nga mahimong law. So yeah.
Okay. So I think that answered the question regarding on the law and I think the regulations
Mm-mm.
upon promoting and encouraging for the food product development in the country. So okay, I think we have another question is
Bamboo
food
supply.
food
Ah,
product development is a long-term project. Asa ta pwede makakontak sa atong speaker for further inquiries?
thanks. You can contact me, not a problem. I think I have my details, but I can share. I can
Yes,
share
you
the
can share
I
in
can
your
share. I'll just type my email address so para kuan. I think na question regarding bamboo. Bamboo ba ni?
I think we have another question, Ma. I think this is also a very interesting question for
Mhm.
our previous participant. So, based on new advances in the food product development, are there still health risks from consuming food which have undergone high temperature, long duration treatments, especially nowadays that there are many food items that is processed and
Mhm.
make shelf stable. So particularly are acrylamides and polyaromatic hydrocarbons. So true or myth?
So example is the shelf life stable products kanang naka-pouch. Sakto ba ko? If
Uh,
that's what it means.
I think it's general, ma'am.
Mhm.
General siguro na kuan na food products that is being processed, food items that is processed to make it shelf stable, ma'am.
So far I haven't read any food recalls with regards to that. So I think that is safe and validated naman ang kaninga mga products. Especially like in other countries, mostly imported ang mga this type of product. So I think the R&D side of it okay naman siya. So far I haven't read any recall. So that means it's okay. It's working.
Okay. Okay, I think we also have Region 7, a question here from on our Zoom participants. So Region 7 is abundant in bamboo supply. Then necessarily it has
Mhm.
abundant supply of bamboo shoot, so locally known as dabong. So for food consumption, are there available technologies
Mm.
designed to maximize the potential of the bone as food ingredient?
Mm. For that technology, I have wala pa kaayo ko'y idea. But for a potential product na pwede is kana bitong fresh lumpia. It's very known. So there is a market on it actually. So with this type of product, even if there is no technology yet, they can start developing bisan og sa balay lang. Just they have to remember kung unsay yung sa TDC nga akong giingon. That's for the food safety. Yeah. So I guess ang challenge ani nga product is yung sa raw material side kung saan mo pag-prolong ang yang shelf life. So it has to we can check kung unsay mga kung kinsay nag-expert nga nag-study na ani, but I haven't read pa or I haven't been exposed into this kind of raw material pa. But I have I think a year ago this product kini nga raw material na discuss ni sa one of my I mean in one of the development session nga pwede siyang i-develop ito sa mga fresh lumpia products, which is known. You can have it sa mga known restaurants.
Okay. Maybe you can basin na kay ma-advise kung unsaon ang bamboo shoot or suitable
Yeah,
products or future suitable food products for bamboo
mm.
shoot. Okay. So I think we have another question, ma'am. So food product development is very important, and we support this to ensure we sustainable feed the increasing human population. But how do we balance consumption of processed food and the healthier alternatives, considering the need to adapt?
So murag nag-compare siya processed food which we consider not healthy versus the healthier
Yes,
option.
murag inana ma'am. So
So actually as I have discussed, so yung mga new technologies like the HPP, yung mga cold plasma, yung novel technologies na akong gina-mention, actually the target really is to reduce or eliminate na yung usage ng mga preservatives so that the product that is being produced is healthier, kumbaga. Although as a food tech, if you are within naman, like for example for the chemicals that you use, actually it's not really bad in your health as long as you yung consumption nimo is not much, and then regulated naman ang paggamit ng chemicals. So dapat lang you have to follow. I think the problem is there's nobody, or I don't know, checking if like you are still within the limits. So I think that's one of the problem mo na generally we think nga na anay preservative, it's not healthy. But if you will study or if you go deep into it, there are actually laws and limitations kung ilang percent lang dapat ang imong ibutang so that you can say na it's not really harmful. So yun nga, wala lang tay assurance kung yung mga manufacturers or yung mga naghimo if they abide into that law.
yes, that is correct. I think one of our participants also indicate also that documentation is integral in the product development. I think that is also aligned to the answer na imong nakuan, ma'am, na
Yes.
especially in the sa product development with preservatives, processed food.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, sa new product development, documentation is really part of it. Kung what time ka nag-start magluto, kung what time siya naluto, kung what time mo siya gihaon, kung what time whatever, it's like from 8 o'clock from the start na nag-slice ka, from the start nga whatever imong gibuhat, mura kag imo na siyang himay-himay para pagka nag-analyze ka na sa imong outcome, naakay balikan nga kani nga part I need to improve, kani nga part pwedeng ahong i-merge, and in addition to that ma-part pa na siya sa imong cost. So the cost is not only the raw materials side, also yung processing time. So yung pagka let's say imo na siyang i-mass produce, so you can compute pila ka tawo ang kinahanglan, so unsa imong mga gamiton. So yes, unsa man nimo pag-compute if you don't have your data. So you have to have your data. It has to be documented. So let's say example, yung mga physical appearance nga observation. So how will you remember nga yung una nimong luto, nag-yellow to siya or nag-pink to siya? If you don't wala kay mga notes. So it's like you really have notes step by step. So yeah, it's really important.
Yes, especially if you are creating a standard, ma'am, in the food product development. I think it is also to be considered, especially to our students, business owners, or to those individual who want to start food product development in their
Yeah.
home.
And
Yes.
that's needed especially pagka big batch production na ka and then something went wrong. So syempre daghang surprises ng ganing food. So 1 kilo when you did your 1 kilo recipe, when you did your 5 kilo recipe, everything is perfect according to what you plan.
Mm.
Let's say shelf life is 5 days or let's say 15 days. Pero nung nag 100 kilo ka for some reason na na spoiled na siya below your expected shelf life. So asa man ka mag-check into your records. So it's really important na i-document nimo.
Okay. So, for example, ma'am, you are doing a research and development, especially on the large batch, because I think we have also a business owners or individual who want to produce or manufacture food or develop a food product that is on a large batch,
Mm-mm.
and they fail to acquire this certain kind of standard. Is there any like reversible planning or ma-reverse pa ba ang kuan, or what are the worst case scenarios situation when it comes to large batch food development?
Well, let's go back to basic kung micro-wise kung ang iyang um, not really what I say, kung spoiled na gyud siya or high microbial count na siya na dili na nimo ma-reverse, that's really a problem. But for some cases naman na even out of standard na ang iyang micro count, there are still ways na you can reprocess or you can rework that product. So I mean common knowledge naman pag food tech ka na like if you but still this varies from product to product, but what I'm thinking is that this is just based on experience. Mostly kasi ang experience ko is yung mga ready to eat na food. So kanang mga sudan, kanang mga let's say rice product. So this kind of products you can actually recook into a certain you have to subject it in a high temperature so that you can still reprocess, but still that depends kung unsa na lasa sa product. So still it depends kung what extent ang problema. So experience wise we always go back to basic. So if we really want to save, then we can do microanalysis, then there we can theoretically check kung how ang say status in terms of microbial and how dangerous the microorganism na naa sa product. So if it's
Okay,
like
I think
salmonella, then it's really a problem. So that varies.
it's a good point na you go in your documentation and back to basics
Yes.
na method. Okay. So we have another question here is, what are your advices for students planning to use product development as their thesis in their food technology degree?
Well, that's the product should be competitive and the product should be let's say I can say unique, pero unsay gamit sa unique if dili siya easily adaptable. So I think you have to check unsay trend para I mean mas ang pag-develop mo sa product, there is more ka ng lalo na pag nag-thesis ka kung unsay trend. Let's say in times of pandemic karon unsa may trend. So di ba kanang food delivery. So you can do that na pwede siyang ma-apply. Pwede siyang you can develop a product na somehow ma-relate siya. Kay di ba pag nag-thesis ka it would be good and then murag kanang it's naa kay feeling of accomplishment kung ang imong study is uh, recent, murag kanang naay kanang uso ba. So
Trending.
murag makuan ka nga ay kini ang thesis what if mauni, so trend ni karon, so mas exciting. Mas
Yes.
exciting. Then ma-feel sa nimo nga kanang you're proud of it. It's an accomplishment aside from main ka nga mag-graduate ko or what. So yeah, you have to find kung unsay trend. Mao lang na siya akong i-suggest.
Okay, so I think hopefully that answers the question to our one of our Zoom participants. So another question, ma'am, is hi, ma'am. I just want to inquire regarding aquaponics products like kangkong, tilapia, and other plants for ground and floating system. So what do you think can be done for these resources in order to be safe, sellable, and good products?
Okay. For this packaging, and then ang subjected nimo first also kung how you handle the kung sa nimo pag-handle ang product, kay this is like the kangkong tilapia, it's like parang cultured siya, di ba, then in one location lang, so yung pag-process nimo into something na ready to use na siya. So I think you need to check kung unsay maayo nga packaging, and then vegetable kasi pag ang vegetable murag lisod, I mean, 'di ba dali siya ma-spoiled, or let's say malanta ba sa Bisaya nakalimutan ko.
Ma-degrade. Ma-degrade ang quality. Oo.
So actually I have done some studies with regards sa vegetable. It's really difficult. Nag-vacuum pack nako, nag-introduce na ako kanang nitrogen packing. So it's I mean, back to basic gihapon na kanang you have to how we normally see it, like kanang net ba na siya nga pagka-pack. So I think we just have to check in terms of the process and the packaging side of it. And then syempre kung ang imong source kung okay naman siya, free of mga soil, so I think that's also i-consider mo sana siya.
Yes, so I hope that sir, from our Zoom participant taking down notes in that wonderful answer, especially on the food product development for the aquaponic products. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. So I think we have a lot of questions there, ma'am. So, given the recent advances of food product development that you discussed, and what are still the challenges in the food product industry that needs to be addressed or developed?
Challenging sa dang question.
Yes. Based on sa iyong ano.
Actually, ang challenge is really the cost, as I mentioned earlier. Even the kaninga recent advances nga akong gi-discuss, it's really very expensive. The HPP, it's really very expensive equipment. But in a long run, I think that's kung afford naman, it's kanang sana mabawi sa demo. I
So,
think
I think the point is here, murag ang cost, or we can't say cost, but the investment that is required in the food product development.
Yeah, you're right.
One of the challenges. Okay. So we have another question here. So from our other participant. So there have claims in other countries that chocolate consumption promote good cognitive function or better brain activity. So, is
Mm-hmm.
there some truth about this or just a myth? And chocolates are truly tasty and irresistible. So, can you share to us the chocolates have components beside fat, sugar, and sugar, and that may be contributed to better cognitive function?
Oh, chocolate. I'm not an expert.
Yes.
Well, actually, I've been in the food industry for like 22 years. So, like, when I was a student, I'm like asking myself, ganong nag-food tech ko? So, because of the curiosity I have, I want to explore in so different industries. So, unfortunately, the chocolate industry, wala pa akong experience.
Oh,
But
maybe. Oh,
yeah,
hopefully.
but for that question,
Ah, yes, ma'am.
na ako'y na, I mean, in some articles, there is a mura ba siya og kanang enzyme ba na siya that it can contribute somehow sa kanang cognitive nga giingon niya. But I think that's there's a truth about it. Though
Mm.
I cannot just like say kung it's legit, pero personally, I think there's a truth about it.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
Yes, or maybe they can also start research and development, ma'am. Oh,
Yeah, sorry
oh,
for that.
it's a good also. I hope the students in our Zoom participants can also take note in that
Mm.
question. Oo, na.
Yes, kasi sorry for that. Kay ang akong expertise is really in ready to eat. Then I have experience also in meat industry. And for some reason, I am very interested in dairy industry. So now I'm in a dairy industry with Hacienda Makalawan. So we are producing dairy products. So that's how my journey.
Yes. So
Mm,
I think
so wala pa
yeah.
ko'y chocolates.
Hopefully, ma'am, soon. Nalatay ko, lami ra bang
Ah,
chocolate. Oo. So
but
I think.
I think sorry, I think Region 7 is developing yung sa cacao. So
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think yeah,
Oo.
they are I hope they have articles on that. I think tomorrow that's one of the topic.
Yes,
So
oo.
hopefully we can confirm, then I will learn also kung it's really there's a truth about it or it's just a
Oo.
myth. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, I think we have also another question here, ma'am. So, people in Region 7, especially in Bohol, Siquijor, Negros, Oriental, and Cebu, rely on abundant agricultural produce. So, to feed our communities, especially on the consumption of raw, fresh vegetables without further cooking. So, in your opinion, ma'am, is it still safe to consume them raw?
Hmm, actually, in other countries, mas, di ba in Japan, they want it raw? But still, you have to like sanitize. Although it depends sa imo bitang resistant siya sa tao. So it really depende sa tao sad. So naay mga tao nga sensitive, but yes, you can eat somehow raw. You just have to clean and somehow sanitize. Pero I suggest if okay naman, you just need to blanch para sure ka 100%
Yes.
na okay naman yung product. Well, anyway, blanching is just a quick process, so you can do that
Mm.
para safe lang. Although in Thailand, I have tried eating kanang sitaw unsa na? Kanang
Parang string beans, ma'am.
yeah, string beans na
Oo.
it's a raw. So na-try
Okay.
ko, na-try ko. Na I'm shocked actually na culture shock ko nga nganong naay string beans ang atubangan. So akong tanaw akong palibot ila man gikaon nga kanang raw pa. So I
Okay.
nag-try sad ko. Then wala may okay raman ko.
So,
So I guess
okay na.
it wala kasakit ang tiyan. So I think
Oo.
it's also depende sad sa tao kasi some people are sensitive. So muna
Mm.
nga ang suggestion ko is just blanch it para safe.
Okay. So I think that answer also a question. So another question here, ma'am, is are there any food safety hazards from continued consumption of raw and processed peanuts? So if ever, what are these hazards to health?
Siguro mahilig to siya mukha og nuts.
Yes. Well,
Same thing
yeah.
with me. Same thing with me. So good thing, even if I don't have experience in the nut industry, but since favorite na ho ang pagkaon og nuts, so I have also read some articles about it. It depends how clean is the nuts. So kung high aflatoxin siya, so there would be an issue with your liver as far as
Mm.
I have read on the article. So still it varies kung asa gikan ang imong nuts, how old it is. So yeah,
Mm. Okay. So I think this is already the last questions. The
Mhm.
question that we have now is if you for the participants, if you have any other concerns or questions, please take this opportunity to our speaker for today in our topic, recent advances in food product development. So uh, we have a question here, ma'am. Can please share na lang din po about dairies? What's the trend?
okay. So that yung PLF, that's the newest trend.
Mm.
Yung the novel technologies that I have mentioned, that's one of the latest trend. So ang pasteurization nowadays also sa milk, very high tech na siya. So meron ng and also ang cleaning, the cleaning side of the process. So naana siya yung mga cleaning in place.
Mm.
So you don't have to um um kanang manually clean. Then yung mga test sa to ensure na okay ang imong mga pasteurization process.
Mm.
So naana yung mga readily available na mga rapid test. So mo na siya newest trend. So like if for example you want to check if the temperature of your pasteurization process really na-achieve niya, then there is a test on that nga for a long time conventional, so it means medyo dugay. So karon naana siya yung mga available na nga mga rapid test. So ikuan mo lang mura siyang ibutang sa isa instrument, then you will get right there kung unsa result. So
Mm. Okay. So I think I think there is one pahabol ma'am na question.
say pahabol na
And I
question.
think I think this is also a very important question also,
Mhm.
especially to those micro enterprises or to individual participants. So
Mhm.
how can we add or conduct the shelf life of our foods at home? So is it just refrigerating or heat in the microwave?
Okay, it varies from product to product. So kung ang product nimo is, let's say, chilled product, then you have to chill it. And then my suggestion is kung what is common. So like for example, I think not all nga household na ay microwave. So you can do that for those people they can use the microwave, but I suggest you can also use yung simple yung wok para at least your study dili lang siya limited into one process. So kung let's say unsay general nga process na gihimo,
Mm.
so you can start on that. Then if you do the shelf life study, you have to do it consistent. So kung unsay process 1 2 3 4 5, by the next time you will do it should be the same. Then you can record what's the result.
Okay. So okay, so I think that is our last pahabol for questions for our topic for today, recent advances in the food product development. So
Mm-mm.
I think the questions and concerns are already addressed. And I
Mm-mm.
would like to, do you have any, before we go further in the program, do you have any last advice, last recommendations, especially to our participants all over the region? So
Mm-mm.
especially to our students, to our business owners, or to our individual participants at home.
Okay, so ang advice nako is think you just think uh sa we'll start sa basic. So usahay magud ka, we are that much excited, so murag daghan tag hunahuna, but then we forgot the basic practices, the basic thing kinahanglan. So let's say example is washing our hands. That's just basic, but we tend to forget. So pagka nag nag naghimo na ka og, I mean, you are into your food product development, you just need not to forget gyud ang mga basic na mga practices. So mao lang na siya. For the students naman, well, this is just my thought sa inyo. Um, uh, Being a food tech in let's say salary wise, I guess for starter, I can read sa mga feedback. It's not really that much they offer, but I hope na ang you have your heart on it. So you will not easily give up. Okay. At the end of the day, tanan man ta, we need food technology, we need food technologists, we need food in order to survive. So I mean, just to have mapasensya ka lang, then don't give up. Just like have the heart on being a food tech. So thank you so much, and
Thank you
hope
for the time and for the
uh,
wonderful effort, ma'am. So
mm,
the DOSC 7, the DOSC, Department of Science and Technology Region 7, are pleased to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our beloved, well-respected speaker. So I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge our resource speaker for today. So we, the Department of Science and Technology Region 7, would like to present this certificate of appreciation to Ma'am Venice Ido Galanton for her invaluable and exemplary service rendered as a resource speaker during the National Science and Technology Week in Central Science and Regional Invention Contest and Exhibit in our virtual Science and Technology Forum entitled Recent Advances in Food Product Development. And thank you very much, ma'am, from our bottom of our hearts here in
thank you
Department
also.
of Science, Region 7.
Mm-mm.
You're a very good and expert speaker for today's topic. So I
Okay.
think yes, ma'am.
Thank you also. It's my pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So for the participants, so please don't forget to send the to completely fill out the evaluation link that will be sent in the Zoom chat box. So we will also present the into your screen the evaluation link. So to get the certification and the handouts for this topic, so completely fill out the evaluation link, evaluation form. Okay. Okay. So kindly fill out the evaluation form found in the link below. So you can see, hopefully, you can see it in the screen. So https tinyurl.com/fooddev. So please don't forget to completely fill out the evaluation form in the link that uh, we put in the chat box and in the screen if you for the certificates of participation. Okay, so I think so this concludes the webinar for today. So thank you for attending, and we hope you have learned and enjoyed this forum. So again, thank you very much to our speaker and to our participants for today. So we really hope the Department of Science and Technology Region 7 are always be grateful to have you here in our recent advances for product and development. So I will now forward you to our fun corner facilitated by the Department of Science and Technology scholars. Have a nice day and take it away, scholars.
Thank you. Bye.